What's going on, guys? It's your travel vlogs, and today filmmakers around the world are always saying you only need a mobile phone to start making videos.
As you guys know, I've been telling you for the longest time to get started in travel filmmaking with the very same phone that sits in your pocket.
If you don't have money for a camera, just use your cell phone. Cell phones are great.
However, they still all use fancy DSLRs, GoPros, drones to make their videos. So, is a mobile phone good enough to make travel videos in 2019? Well, that's what I'm here to find out for you guys today, and that's what we're going to do. I'm using the Huawei P20 Pro. It's my phone, I've had it for a while. It's got a pretty good camera. It's got 3 camera lenses on it. It's got a very high-end camera for a mobile phone. So if you can make travel videos with your mobile phone, it's going to be a phone similar to the Huawei P20 Pro. I thought to give the mobile phones a chance to make a travel video, why not take it to a great location rather than just filming in the UK, somewhere a bit boring. Let's give it the best opportunity. So I went out to Paris, I took my mobile phone, surprisingly, and I filmed a travel video. It's all filmed now, and I'm going to edit it in this video, tell you what limitations the phone has, what it's really good at, the advantages, the disadvantages basically. But I'm not approaching this with a lot of filmmaking experience. I've only been making travel videos for 6 months, and I'm also new to filming with my mobile phone. I take photos on my mobile phone a lot, but I've never taken any videos, and I've also never edited any videos from my phone. I want this video to be someone completely new to making travel videos with a mobile phone, and that's me. So we'll see how this goes. Paris was a truly beautiful city. I had a lot of fun filming and exploring there. I've also made a few other videos on it, but all too soon it was time to come home and get ready to edit the footage. Now, when I was editing this, I was very hungover and I didn't fancy getting in front of the camera. So I'm just going to do a voiceover about how I edit my videos. Then at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you the positives and the negatives that come with filming on your mobile phone. Now, I always start my videos by importing all my footage into the timeline. Then I change it into an order that fits a little story, maybe of me going somewhere or whatever the story is of the video. The story doesn't have to be massive, it can literally just be me visiting a place, me going somewhere, me doing something. It's not a massive story, it's just so that the video has a point. The files that I recorded on my phone were a bit smaller than the files that normally come out of my camera. So everything worked a bit quicker and a bit faster. It was quite nice to edit, I'm not gonna lie. Next, I picked some music that fits the vibe of the video, and I cut every clip to the beat. I make some a bit shorter, some a bit longer so they fit in. I might speed ramp some parts, make some bits faster than others, so that the video flows. And at this point, it's 90% done. At the end, we just need to add a color grade so the footage looks a bit brighter, a bit more saturated, have those colors really popping, you know. Add in some sound effects maybe, if it needs it, maybe some city noise, noises of birds. But some people might not even notice them, but they make it a bit more like you're there. I check that my audio levels are okay, nothing's spiking, nothing's too loud and is gonna get distorted. So I check that that's all good. And then once we're done, we're done. So the editing process is very similar to when I film on this camera. So not too much changed, except from a lot of my footage was shaky. That is because when you're filming on a phone, the phone is a lot lighter than the camera, so it moves about a lot more in your hands. It can give you some really shaky footage sometimes, which is a bit of a pain. And that was the main problem that I had when I was filming on my mobile phone. So what I would do, if I was to do this again and film on my phone more regularly, I would use a stabilizer or a gimbal for my phone. You can get them from starting at around £60 to £100 if you look on Amazon, and it's just going to make sure your footage is smooth and it's not all over the place and it's easy for the viewer to watch. If you spend £60 to £100 on a stabilizer or a gimbal, that's still going to be a lot cheaper than buying a camera that is around £500 or £400. you're saving a lot of money there. So that is my first advantage of filming on your mobile phone, is it's so much cheaper. You already have a mobile phone. Everyone has a mobile phone. It's 2019. So why not film on it? The cameras on mobile phones are great. The Samsung S9 and the new S10 have great cameras. iPhones mostly have great cameras. The Google Pixel, great camera. My phone, Huawei P20 Pro, great camera. So all these phones, they're gonna be capable of filming great footage. The next advantage is most phones film in 1080p, which is perfect resolution for YouTube videos, and it's just really good quality. You can film in 4K. 4K can be a bit hard to edit because it takes up a lot of memory, it takes a lot of time to render, and sometimes it's just not worth it. I feel like making sure you've got a good video idea, you plan out your videos, is a lot more important than filming in 4K. So as long as you're filming in 1080p, you're fine. 1080p is what all my videos are in, and 90% of YouTube videos are in 1080p as well. The next advantage I found was you don't have to carry a camera around all the time. Like, cameras are big, they're heavy, you have to take a bag to fit them in. Whereas if you have your mobile phone, all you need is that. You keep it on yourself all the time. It's literally in your pocket. And if there's something that happens that's good to film, maybe some birds fly by, or there's a nice car that drives by that you want to film, you can just pull out your phone and go. So it's really good for how accessible it is, how light it is, and you don't have to carry a big camera around all day. I think that was probably the biggest advantage of filming on my phone. I also love that it's more inconspicuous when you're vlogging in public. Vlogging in public is really awkward to do. I don't like doing it, but I do it so I can make videos. People look at you, people think you're weird, and you just have to be okay with that. But when you are vlogging on your phone and you're holding your phone up like this, you're vlogging, people don't look at you as much and people don't judge you as much, which you shouldn't care about anyway, to be honest. But people don't look at you as much, it's not as obvious, and it's just more natural to vlog on. So I found it better for vlogging than my actual camera. But after giving the phone a lot of praise, there were obviously some things that it's not as good at, and obviously why people use a big camera such as a DSLR or a mirrorless camera instead of a phone. Now, the first one is that it's a lot harder to film in manual mode on a phone rather than your camera. I don't think this is as much as a problem for beginners, because if you're a beginner filmmaker and you're making your first kind of travel videos, you're not really going to worry too much about manual, and filming in auto on a phone would be fine. It gives you less to worry about, and then you can just think about the composition of your shots, how your shots are going to fit together when you edit them, and the story, which I think for a beginner is more important to focus on than filming in manual, because once you get used to thinking about all of those things, then you can start to learn how to film in manual mode, and maybe by that time you'll be ready to make the investment of buying a bigger camera. You can get small lenses for your phone, but they're not really that great. They're kind of more of a gimmick than anything. So you can't really film at different focal lengths, which makes a difference to how your videos will look and does limit quite a lot. You can compensate for this by getting closer to your subject, doing some close-up shots, medium shots, far away shots that are wide, and just moving further away or closer to the subject, but it's still not as good as changing lenses on a DSLR, for example. The audio is good on my phone, it's definitely acceptable for a YouTube video, and for beginners I don't think it's a problem, but it is quite limiting. You could get a lapel mic or something like that, but then you have all the wires that get in the way and that kind of thing. On my finished video, you'll see at the end, the audio, it could be better. And finally, as you probably know from mobile phones, battery lives are terrible on them. It's lucky if you have a phone that will last about a day and then you have to charge it again. But when you're filming all day, that battery life is shortened even more. So your phone probably won't last a day. But however, don't lose hope. There is a way to combat this. You can use a power bank, and then when your phone runs out of battery, you just hook it up to the power bank, charge it. You can even hold the power bank and still film and everything, and it'll be fine. So yeah. So after all that talking about the advantages and the disadvantages of making a travel video, you're probably going to want to know, how did mine turn out? How did the video turn out that I filmed with my phone? Well, here it is. It's a bit of a nightmare getting to the Louvre because one of the metro lines is closed. So we're just going to try and walk, to be honest, and to see how this goes. But it is quite a nice, pretty walk. We're walking down the river and we've got the Eiffel Tower just over there. So that's pretty cool. So overall, for beginners, I think filming travel videos on your mobile phone is a great idea. It's very inexpensive and great if you don't want to make the big purchase of a camera. And if you haven't made videos before, you haven't made travel videos, you might not know what it's really like. You might pick up a camera and film and then be like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm actually filming here more than I'm actually experiencing the place, and you don't really enjoy it as much as you thought you would. And then that £500 camera, for example, it just ends up sitting in your room collecting dust. Whereas if you start to make travel videos on your phone, you get an idea what it's about, what it's like, and it's something that would have been on you anyway. You don't have to buy a new mobile phone, you'd have a mobile phone anyway. The two things I would say is, if you do want to make travel videos on your phone, I would invest in a stabilizer so that you have smooth footage, because shaky footage, you just don't want shaky footage. And you can pick them up for around £60 to £100, like I said before. And also a power bank. A power bank, you just charge it up, and then when you want to charge your phone, when it runs out of battery, you just hook it up to the power bank, it'll charge. Everyone knows how a power bank works. Yeah. And then you are good to go to make travel videos, experience lots of beautiful countries, and have those memories forever in the form of videos. But if it's not for you, then at least you've only spent £100, £120, and you haven't wasted too much money on a camera. So I hope these tips helped you out if you are thinking of making travel videos. It's something that I've got into over the last 6 months, and I really, really enjoy it. That's why I do a video every single Monday. So if you want to see more of that, hit subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you next week for another video.